Skinny how the way 7T back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor, y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I greatly appreciate you sliding through. If this your first time, do your boy solid. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button as well. We talk this good boxing, MMA, sports, parlays, predictions every single day, not just today. Today we're here with a 3-fight EP. We got a DAZN card coming on this weekend, Saturday. We got Yafai versus. We got two other fights I want to talk about on the same card. Walker versus Taylor and Mcgrail versus Baluta. Three very good, UK fights. I think Galal Yafai is a gold medalist from the Olympics. This is going to be a flyweight title fight, right, for an interim belt, right? So the one will be more than likely in a title fight in their next fight for a major title at flyweight, right? Yafai versus with uh Galal Yafai and Rodriguez in this fight. It's going to be a good fight, right? You could say it's a step up for Yafai, right? But he's been matched up pretty tough, throughout his career. Although it is early in his young career, he came from the Olympics, right? So he's been a step up right when he fought Sonny Edwards in the fight before this, right? And Sonny Edwards is better than. It's a different kind of test, right? I think it'll be more testing his will more so, right? A fight with Sonny Edwards tested skill, and we your fight. He's a boxer, puncher, 10 wins, 9 wins, 7 KOs. Right, only been the distance twice. Hadn't been the distance since 2023, and before that, 2000. He went the distance a year before that one. Right, so he's not going the distance a whole lot, and it's not due to be his punching power because he does have one shot power, right? So I'm not gonna say he don't got the one shot power because he do, but he's very patient. Like he's patient in getting his knockouts. They come 6 round knockout against Sonny, 3rd round knockout before that, 8th round knockout before that. UD 2023, 1st round, right? 2nd round, 5 rounds. So his knockouts vary because he's not really necessarily going out there and chasing a 6 losses and 1 draw, 27 knockouts himself, and he's been stopped once. My bad. Rodriguez is 5'4" with a 65-inch arm reach, and Galal Yafai is 5'4" with a 68-inch arm reach. Right, so Galal Yafai has a 3-inch arm reach advantage. Galal Rodriguez has 6 more losses. His last fight was a no contest. Then before that, he had a stoppage of a guy in the 1st round, stoppage in the 3rd round, went to a decision, beat a guy named Cordova, and then he fought Junta Nakatani, right? Yeah, my bad. That didn't keep me out. But yeah, he fought Junta Nakatani. I think that's the last thing you heard. He fought Junta Nakatani, right? And he went the distance. He also fought Kazuda Ioka, and he went this distance, right? So he's fought two high level fighters, and he's went the distance with both of those high level fighters. Now, Galal Yafai is a fighter who likes to fight on the front foot. Rodriguez is a fighter who likes to fight on the front foot. You got both. You got two guys who like to fight on the front foot, two guys who like to punch, right? So this leads me to believe that somebody is getting knocked out. I'm not really sure how much y'all heard before stream y'all kick me out, but we gonna make it do what it do though. That ain't stopping no show, right? But you got two guys who like to lead. You got two guys who like to punch, two guys who can punch. Right. So that would lead me to believe that Yafai versus Rodriguez is not going the distance. I am taking Galal Yafai to win this fight. I think the best bet would be just to take Yafai on the money line, right? Not necessarily deal with a knockout or a decision, but I am leaning Galal Yafai for a knockout. Now, the Vegas books don't think that Yafai is getting the knockout. I tend to Fire is going to get the knockout, but the best bet is the Fire on the money line. Right, I feel like if you're parlaying it, especially right, we got pretty good odds on your Fire. We normally don't get odds like this on your Fire, right? Your Fire is minus 350 on the line, and it sounds crazy telling you that we getting decent odds on them, but you know your Fire, his odds are extremely crazy, right? Most times, right? So your Fire is minus 350 on the line. But I think the best bet, right, is the Fire money line at minus 350, right? And I'm thinking KO, TKO. And I do have odds on this KO, TKO. His KO, TKO, if I'm not mistaken, was like minus 370. Let's check it out. Plus 370, I mean, right? So I'm going to put this in here for you. I do got your Fire for the win in your Fire versus Rodriguez. I think the money line would be the best bet. So bet the money line, right? And make sure you come back later on when we do final picks. Let me do sound check real quick because it be kicking me out. Yeah, so make sure you come back, when we do final picks to, get exactly which method that we gonna pay and play. And we do final picks on Thursdays. Right. Y'all go see, so we'll get more on the schedule though. But we do final picks on Thursdays for the weekend. So make sure you tune in to the final picks live to get that exact method. But your Fire for the money line is most definitely one of my locks for the week. All right. In the next fight, we got Conor Walker versus Liam Taylor. This one, uh, this one was a one. This one was a one where it took me a little second, but the more I thought about it, uh, these guys kind of are similar in fighting styles. Conor Walker kind of puts the high guard up. He has to get on the inside. He's a shorter fighter in most of his fights. Gets on the inside, has good body work. Uh, he's a guy where he don't have a whole lot of knockouts, but it's a bit deceiving because if you look at his fight, if you look at how many fights he's had compared to his knockout ratio, you would think, well, this guy has no power, right? Conor Walker, 15 fights, 3 losses, 1 draw, 6 knockouts, right? 15 fights, 6 knockouts, never missed out. You would think, not a whole lot of power, but it's deceiving. He doesn't have a whole lot of one punch power, but he has that accumulation power that can work on you over the course of a fight. And if you're able to survive, kudos to you, right? But he's going to be constantly punching. He's going to be constantly putting pressure on you moving forward with that high guard. And he has good body work. Does Conor Walker. He's fighting Liam Taylor, 28, 14 KOs, has been stopped once. Conor Walker, 30 years old. Liam Walker is 34 years old. Liam Walker just fought Jamie Stewart in the 6-rounder. Jamie Stewart is 4-10. Before that, he fought an 8-rounder against Sam O'Matson. He's 18-6. Before that, he fought an 8-rounder. A guy was 28-31. right? So he's been fighting very low level competition ever since he fought David Avenesian in 2021, right? And he fought Darren Telly before that in 2020, right? But I believe that Taylor's best days are behind him. I believe he's kind of being fed to Conor Walker in a second. I mean, in a sense, I think he's kind of being fed to Conor Walker. I think we're getting pretty good odds, on the Conor Walker feeding because of the name. And Liam Taylor is not a bad fighter. I just don't think, he can go from Jamie Stewart and Sam Matson to Conor Walker. I think Conor Walker is being set up for something bigger, right? And I think Liam Taylor is just a part of that. But I do think it's not going to be easy, right? It's going to be easier for me to say it than it is for Conor Walker to do it, especially with him giving up some size. That's going to be the thing, how much, if any, damage is Conor Walker going to take trying to get on the inside of Liam Taylor, right? But also the thing is, it's kind of tricky because we just saw, uh, Conor Walker stop Harry Scar in the 12th, right? With that pace. So he puts a pace on you. And if you're not in shape, Conor Walker most definitely can get you up out of there. Liam Taylor hasn't been fighting Conor Walker level fighters as of late. So, how ready is he to jump in there with a Conor Walker, right? I am taking Conor Walker on the money line in this fight. Uh, right. I do think it's going to be close, especially early. Right. I would lean Conor Walker to go the points as well. Conor Walker money line is minus 260. You know what I mean? Right now, his points method is not out, but his points method is not out. But Conor Walker is, my pick in this fight. If Liam Taylor was maybe, fighting at the level that Conor Walker was fighting at over the last couple years, you know, it'll give me a little more cause to pause, but I think we're getting pretty good odds, especially if you're parlaying it, right? Which is we're gonna talk about at the end of this after I give you a prediction on this third fight. So y'all bear with me, right? Especially if you're parlaying it, right? Pretty decent odds on Conor Walker, you know. Points, knockout prop isn't out yet. We're gonna do fight methods Thursday as well. Final picks on Friday, fight methods on Thursday. My bad, I don't know if I said final picks Thursday, but we do final picks on Fridays and we do fight methods on Thursdays. Right, that's when all the methods for sure would have been dropped in the books all across the world, and we gonna make our final method picks, right? But I am leaning Walker on the points, but I think the money line is the best play. In that Walker just stopped Harry Scarf, right? So we got to be kind of, you know, uh, got to be, we got to pay got to be a little cautious, when it comes to Conor Walker points and knockout right now, right? But Conor Walker for the win, and I am leaning, him on the points. I say you put that money line with my Galal Yafai money line right now, and we go keep it moving if you following along. We got Peter Mcgrail. We got Peter Mcgrail in his next fight, right? Versus Inat Baluta. I think this is going to be a good fight as well. Another one of these fights where it's like, is it going to decision? Is it going to be a knockout? Baluta never been stopped. Peter Mcgrail is a fighter, He likes to stop people, right? But my first man is telling me that this fight is going the distance, kind of like, Conor Walker and Liam Taylor, right? We got Peter Mcgrail, 11 wins, 1 loss, 6 KOs, been stopped once himself, 29 years old, 5'7", 65-inch arm reach. His only losses to Jericho O'Quinn in the big upset loss that nobody, really saw coming. But since then, right, he's beat Leach, Brad Foster, and Rice Edwards, right? So that's 3 pretty good, names back to back. That's tough competition, right, in a row, especially after a loss. He's facing off against Inat Baluta, 17 wins, 5 losses, 3 KOs, 31 years old, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach, right? So he has a 3-inch arm reach advantage over Peter Mcgrail. He's coming off a split decision win over Brad Strand in his last fight. He lost to Dennis McCain in a fight before that. He had a draw against Dennis McCain before that, in a split decision win with Andrew Kane before that, and the UD lost to Liam Davis before that. And he also beat Brad Foster, lost to Michael Conlon, and he beat TJ Doheny as well, right? So he has a pretty good, he has an extensive resume uh since 2020 till now. So split decision win in his last fight over Brad Strand, and he's getting Peter Mcgrail in the 10th round, right? So my first mind tells me that this fight is going the distance, right? And my second mind tells me that this is going to be a tough fight. I feel like if it was maybe a if it was maybe an upset going to happen, it would probably be right here. I am leaning Peter Mcgrail to win in this fight, though. I think Peter Mcgrail should be able to win. I think the Mark Leach, Brad Foster, and Russ Edwards back to back, you know what I mean, has prepared him for Baluta. Baluta is not unbeatable, right? He's had 6 losses. Style matchup. Both these guys are pretty active punchers, so I feel like it's going to be a lot of punches thrown in this, right? And that's what makes this fight kind of tricky. Not because I think Baluta is Peter, because I don't think he's better than Peter. I think Peter is the better fighter. But Baluta is one of those guys. He know how to make fights, dirty. He know how to mug fights up, make it hard for the judges. You know what I mean? To score. He's one of those guys. So I really don't like betting against. Those guys. That's certainly. I really don't like betting against those guys necessarily, right? But I am taking Peter Mcgrail to win this fight. Right, I do think Peter Mcgrail gets the win in this fight. I think he'll be able to find a way to beat Baluta on the card. You know what I mean? And my mind is telling me that this fight is going the distance, so I'm thinking Peter Mcgrail, points decision, right? So I would think, the best bets if you don't want to take a risk, with either side, it'll be to bet Peter Mcgrail fight to go the distance. It would be to bet Conor Walker fight to go the distance and take Galal Yafai on the money line, right? Now the methods aren't out for, the methods or, the round props aren't out just yet. So I don't have, what, those three together will be worth distance and Galal Yafai, but I'm pretty confident that Walker wins. I'm pretty confident that Galal Yafai wins, and Peter Mcgrail should win his fight as well against Baluta. I think Mcgrail may have the toughest test due to the style matchup, right? But I think Mcgrail will get the win as well. If you put those three together, right? If you put the Mcgrail, Walker, and Yafai together, Walker at -260, Mcgrail at -475, and Yafai at -350. And they got Mcgrail being, the biggest favorite out of the three. And I think, Mcgrail is giving me the biggest cause to pause, right? So the books think Mcgrail should have the easiest chance, the easiest time winning out of the three. And I'm the most worried about Mcgrail. The books are most worried about Walker, which I could understand that, but I think that's not the Liam Taylor of old. That's just old Liam Taylor, right? So I think we're getting good odds on Walker, right? But if you put Walker, Mcgrail, Yafai together, that'll get you the plus 120, right? Just straight money lines, right? Those three fights straight money lines. But I do think, Walker and Mcgrail win on the points, and I'm leaning Yafai to win on the KO. You stay tuned for the next of the show, and then I'll be able to let you know exactly what that would be worth. Yafai KO is plus 370. That's already out, right? But again, the best bet would be to take Yafai on the line. And if you want to add a little more juice to that, right? If you within the sound of my voice, right? If you listen to the entire video, if you add you just throw Brian Norman money line in there with that, that'll get you the plus 150 odds, right? So that'll take your plus 120 up to plus 150 if you want a little more juice, on your parlay. So, I did my Brian Norman video. Y'all could check it out. is on my page as well. I broke down that fight. But if you add Brown Norman money line to those three that you see on the screen, it'll get you up to plus 150. Take the plus 120 up to plus 150. But I got Conor Walker on the money line, Peter Mcgrail on the money line, Galal Yafai on the money line at plus 120. And if you're asking me a method, we don't have odds on the methods except Yafai. He's plus 370. His KO. I think he gets the KO, but I do think the best bet, the safest bet would be to take him on the money line, which is why, I just parlayed all three of them together, right? But I ain't gonna hold y'all in here too long. Just getting hard away 7T. This ain't the past, this ain't the future, but it's the present. That's how we rocking, and I'm out. Look, make sure y'all subscribe. Y'all tell a friend to tell a friend. Y'all stay tuned for the weekly shows because I'm gonna do final picks.